Good morning. Hello, hello. Thursday morning, 8:30. Time to do some yoga today. Um, I want to propose a gratitude practice. We did 2 days ago forgiveness. I wanted to make this week a little bit about the more emotional side, more emotional themes. Even if the practice is very similar, the poses are similar, the physicality is similar. I think that there is something really valuable about sometimes taking a different approach and noticing the really subtle differences in the body when you focus on a different idea or a different thought. So, yeah, get yourself organized, get your mat ready. Be good to have two blocks. Um, it'll be quite a calm practice today, I think. Strong, calm, focused practice with a bit of meditation on the beginning and in the end. And let's just get started. So take a moment. I'm sure you're warm enough. It's quite cold. Suddenly again, the summer is doing weird things. Maybe you have a blanket nearby. And let's start in a seated position. You can sit on a block if you like. Cross-legged or on your knees. Whatever feels good to you. Making sure you're super comfy, super warm. Close your eyes, put your hands somewhere on top of your legs where they can rest. Good morning, Auntie. Take a few deep breaths here. With your eyes closed, let your shoulders hang down. Let the back of your neck lengthen, your jaw soften. Your chest soften. Your belly can be soft and hanging out a little bit. Hips are sinking down into the block or onto the floor. Thighs as much as possible, completely relaxed. And see if you can very consciously relax the muscles in the face. So relaxing between the eyebrows, relaxing your temples, your cheeks. Very softly closing your eyes, letting your eyeballs float in the sockets. And sometimes the eyes can be a little bit busy, especially if we're thinking a lot. So if that's the case, just notice it and let it be there. Relaxing the cheeks and the jaw and the throat. And then focus on the corners of your mouth. And imagine the slight beginning of a smile. Notice what that does to your face. You don't need to actively smile. You can just focus deeply on the corners of your mouth and the sensation of smiling. And if a smile comes naturally, it's fine, let it happen. Even the imagination of a smile already has an effect. Notice what the smiling sensation does to your rest of your face. And see if you can take this imagined or half imagined smile into the rest of your body. So brightening up your face, smiling down into the throat, through the neck, into the chest and shoulders, upper arms, your elbows, your lower arms, smiling, your hands and your fingers, your whole chest, the sides of the rib cage and the back, all the way down to the lower back, the pelvis, the belly. And the hips smiley and soft, and the upper legs, upper thighs, buttocks and the knees. The lower legs and the ankles and the feet, soles of the feet, all the way down to the toes. Like you have 1,000 tiny little smiles all over your body. And with this very smiley feeling, think about the first thing that comes to mind that you're thankful for. The very first thing that pops in. It can be something about yourself, it can be a person that's close to you, it can be your couch or your cat or your book that you're reading. The first thing that comes to mind that you're grateful for. And just take a moment to ponder that. What's the quality you're grateful for in this person or this thing or in yourself? Can you expand on that? Keep breathing softly. Coming up with reasons why you're thankful for this first thing that came up into your mind's eye. Maybe visualizing the person or the object or the quality. Staying with it just a moment more. Seeing if you can expand your sense of gratitude. Maybe noticing if you feel any sensation in the body, and if so, where and how. What does the sensation of gratitude feel like to you today, right now? And then, with your mind's eye, pick another thing, or another person, or another quality, another part of yourself, whatever comes to mind, something you're thankful for. And same thing, take your time to sense your way into this new gratefulness, this new thing or person or quality that you're thankful for. Just notice what it does to your body. Notice if you can locate the sensation, the physical sensation of being grateful. Maybe the sensation of this gratitude is somewhere else than before. And then we'll pick one last thing, one last person, or one last quality, something about yourself, something very direct, something you're grateful for. I'm grateful for my strong body sitting here right now. I'm grateful for sensations that let me know how I'm doing. So whatever it is that you're thankful for, tell yourself in the present tense and strong, clear wording why you're thankful for this particular thing, this particular person, this particular quality or sensation. Notice where it sits in the body and see if you can expand on that. Wherever you feel any kind of sensation in the body right now, even if you don't think it's related to your gratitude, bring your awareness to the most obvious, the most clear sensation in your body at this moment. And see if you can flood the whole body with that sensation. Spreading a sense of gratitude throughout your limbs, throughout your torso, throughout your muscles and your skin and your bones, all your organs. And then bring your hands together in front of your chest. We'll sing 3 times Om. And when you're ready, deep breath in. Om. next out breath, bend your head forward. And then roll your head over to the right side, back to the middle, over to the left side. A few more times back and forth, gently opening the back of the neck. Your hands are still in prayer in front of the chest. And then bring your head back to the center. Open the palms of your hands like you're holding a lotus flower in front of you. Bow your head down. Bring your hands over your eyes, cupping your eyes, creating a little bit of darkness, space to release your eyeballs, releasing any tension in the eyelids. And bring your head back to upright and gently take your hands off, opening your eyes. Bring your hands to tops of your knees. Open your chest, lift your chin gently. And as you breathe out, round your back. Bow your head forward. 2 more times. Lifting the chest, arching the back. Breathing out, rounding the back. Dropping your chin down. 1 more time, breathing in. Arching your back, lifting your chest. Breathing out, rounding the back, dropping your chin. Rolling to neutral, face in the middle, lift your left arm up, breathe in, lift it up even higher and bend yourself over to the right, drop your head, take a few little pulses. Your right wrist leaning on the floor, maybe your elbow coming all the way down, reaching out of the left fingertips. From there, push yourself back up. Your arms come to the side. Now twist yourself over to the left side. Bring your right arm to the outside of the left knee and the left arm wrapping around the right hip, twisting. Breathing out, twist a little bit more. And gently coming back to the center. Breathing and lift your right arm up. As you breathe in, lift it even higher and then bend over to the left. Drop your head, soften both your hips. Take a few small pulses, really simple, really easy. And waking up the side body. And there, push yourself back up. Keep your arms long to either side and twist your torso over to the right. Drop your hands, left arm outside of right knee, right hand wraps around the left hip, twisting. And as you breathe out, twist a little bit deeper. Coming back to the center, lift both arms up overhead. Clasp your both hands as you breathe in. Push your hands up to the ceiling. And as you breathe out, rounding your back, bring your hands forward. Rounding your shoulders, a lot of space between your shoulder blades. Drop your head. On your next out breath, sink yourself down even lower. Release your hands, release your elbows down, a little forward stretch. From here, push yourself, roll yourself back up. Releasing your block. And then let's come to a little ball, sitting on your feet in a little squat, dropping your head forward. Very, very simple, humble, easy position here. Releasing the Achilles, releasing the fronts of your ankles. Seeing if you can find a perfect balance between your hands and feet. Finding a place in the middle where you don't have to make any effort to balance here.
From there, slip your hands to the insides of your knees. Let your knees fall open. Drop your head even more. Releasing your tailbone, releasing the front of your hips. And let your belly flop out between your legs. Breathing deeply. On every out breath, releasing the whole spine a little bit more. And from here, keep your knees a little bit out. Roll your spine up. And see if you can balance here. Very simple, soft balance. Hands in front of your chest. Lengthening the back of your neck. And then lift your hands overhead. Separate the hands. If you'd like, you can look up for a moment. And from here, bending your elbows, rounding your spine forward. Start to work your legs towards straight. You can keep the knees a little bit bent. Release your neck. Shifting the weight a little bit forward and back. Just gently waking up the hamstrings, the feet. Keeping the belly and the thighs connected here. Very simple, very easy pose. And from there, bend your knees deeply. Walk your hands forward into all fours. Spread your fingers really wide. Middle fingers facing forward, pointing forward. Pinky fingers and thumbs walking out to the sides to spread your fingers. Then roll the soft part of your elbows forward, pressing a little bit into the hands so that your shoulder blades are broad, a lot of space between the shoulder blades. Your wrists directly underneath your shoulders, your knees directly underneath your hips. Very active position here. On your next in-breath, arching your back all the way up. And as you breathe out, round your back. A few cat-cows. Let's do 2 more rounds. Very simple. Breathing in, arching your back, softening your chest forward between your hands. And breathing out, rounding the back. Dropping the head to the front and the end. One last time. Breathing in, arching. And breathing out, rounding. Tuck your toes under. Bring your spine back to neutral now. Keep that really strong position of the hands and maybe re-spread the fingers. Rolling the soft part of the elbows forward. Press down into your hands to broaden the shoulders and gently lift the knees off the floor. Pulling your belly button in towards the spine. And take a few shifts forward and back, forward and back. Keep the spine neutral. Warming up through the wrists. Waking up the abdominals. From here, gently bring your knees back down. Walk your hands closer in towards your knees. Point your toes forward, your little toes forward, sitting on top of your ankles, opening the bases of your feet. Also here, see if you can soften the fronts of the ankles. And if you'd like to increase the stretch, you can walk your hands back, leaning on your hands, fingertips pointing forwards. From here, pushing your chest up, rolling your shoulder blades together behind the back, and maybe dropping your head if this is okay for the neck. Gently push yourself back. Now walk your hands not all the way forward, somewhere between a child's pose and next to your knees. Just a little bit in front of your knees, and then pressing your fingers into the floor to lift your knees, stretching your heels back. Big stretch on the bases of the toes. And you can shift the weight a little bit forward and back on your feet. Keep the knees off the floor. And then gently bring your knees back to the floor. Walk your hands back into all fours. Tap your feet out on the floor, shaking your lower legs. And from here, we're going to come into downward dog. So again, make sure your hands are super spread wide. Fingers spread so we divide the weight equally. Then lift the knees off the floor and then gently press the pelvis backwards. Your heels reaching down towards the floor. Your head relaxed, neck relaxed. Soft part of the elbows pointing up. Shoulders sliding down the back away from the ears. Sit bones are pointing up. From here, looking up at your hands gently, with small steps, walking your feet closer to your hands. Bend your knees a little bit, come halfway up, sticking your sit bones up and away from you towards the ceiling, then roll down, keeping your knees a little bit bent. Bring your hands to your lower back, clasp your fingers at the webbing, then drop your hands behind your back, behind your head. Just opening up the shoulders here. You can take the weight a little bit side to side, bending your right knee when you go to the right, left knee when you go to the left. Easy, gently waking up backs of the legs, tops of the shoulders. Bring your hands back to your lower back. Keep shifting the weight. Change the clasp of the hands, so put your other thumb on top and then re-drop your hands. Keep shifting side to side. Releasing your neck. And from here, bring your hands back to your lower back. Come to the middle. Come to stillness in your forward fold. Still, you can keep your knees a little bit bent here. Few deep breaths. Sticking your sit bones up at the ceiling. Connecting your belly to your upper thighs. Sending the weight down into the feet through all four corners of the feet. Sending your sit bones up and away in opposition. Your hands, your shoulders are heavy. Your shoulders can come up here. And if it's really not possible yet for you to reach the floor, even with slightly bent knees, you can use blocks slightly outside into the front of your feet. Place your hand palms on the blocks. From here, bend your knees deeply. Slowly, slowly start to round up your spine, pulling your navel, your belly button in towards the spine, rounding up, rolling up very slowly. Your head comes up last. Standing upright, bring your hands into prayer in front of your chest. Bow your head down. Remind yourself of your first thing you were grateful for, the first of the three. See if you can call back the physical sensation of that emotion, and see if you can imbibe your whole practice with that physical sensation of gratitude. Lift your head back up. Now sliding your hands behind your back. Coming to reverse prayer. If you can. If this is too intense, you can grab opposite elbows. But if you can, come to reverse prayer behind your back, between your shoulder blades, connecting the whole palm of the hand and then pulling your elbows back. Lifting your sternum, maybe lifting your chin gently, very small. From here, gently sliding your hands down the sides, then lift your arms up overhead. And let's bend down today. Swan back down with the hands coming through prayer. All the way down. Coming halfway up. Step your right foot back into a big lunge. Then come up onto your fingertips so you're lifting your chest, and then shift the weight forward and back a few times. Opening up into the front of your right thigh. From there, drop the right knee. Walk your hands up onto your left knee. You can flatten out the right foot. Sink your hips forward and down. Make sure your left shin is perpendicular to the floor, so your ankle is right below the knee. Few deep breaths, sinking deeper and deeper. And keep your hips down low. Bring your hands to prayer in front of your chest. Lift your chin, lift your sternum up. It's not yet a back bend, it's just a little chest opening here. See if you can sink your hips down even lower. And bring your head back upright. Press into your left foot. Gently bring your both hands to the floor on either side of your leg, and flexing the left foot a little forward bend here. Keeping your hips parallel, so maybe pulling your left hip a little bit back. From here, gently walk your hands back forward, move the weight back forward, tuck your right toes under. Now straighten both legs. Very simple forward bend here. If it's too intense for your left leg, you can bend the knee a little bit. The right heel might not be on the floor, but it's pulling back, pulling towards the floor. The foot is parallel. The left knee can be slightly bent. You can lean the left armpit on top of the left knee. And then from here, see if you can balance. Take your both hands behind your back. Interlace the fingers. Let the hands drop overhead. Maybe straightening out the left knee more and more. And then gently bend that left knee. Bring your hands back down. Unclasp the fingers. One more time. Weight on your fingertips. Chest pulling forward. Using the ball of the right foot, shift the weight forward and back, forward and back. And then stepping your right foot back in next to the left. Come halfway up. And breathing out, rolling down. And bend both knees and slide the left foot back this time. Weight on top of your fingertips, chest opening, shifting the weight forward and back by pushing into the ball of your left foot. Opening up to the front of your left thigh. And gently dropping your left knee, walk your hands up to the right knee. Making sure your right shin is perpendicular to the floor. Untuck the left toes, sink your hips forward and down. Deep breaths here. And then bring your both hands to prayer in front of your chest. Lift your sternum up. Gently opening the chest, not back bending, just lifting the chin. Slight opening of the chest. Keep sinking your hips down low, far away from the chest. From here, bring your head back upright. Bring your both hands next to your right leg. Start to shift the weight backwards. Flexing the right foot. Gently forward bending. Little wake up stretch for the right hamstring, right thigh. Keep breathing deeply. And from there, shift the weight back forward. Tuck the left toe. Come onto your fingertips, shift the weight forward and back, forward and back. And from there, straightening both your knees as much as you can. So if the right knee needs to bend a little bit, that's okay. You can rest your right armpit on top of that right knee. Left foot is parallel, left leg parallel. Using the weight of the torso against the leg to gently start straightening out the leg. From there, see if you can balance. Bring your hands to your lower back. Put your other thumb on top. The one that feels a bit unusual, then straighten your elbows and bring your hands overhead, behind your back, behind your head. Maybe gently straightening out the right knee. And from there, gently bring everything back. Releasing your hands. One last time, shifting the weight forward and back. Weight is on your fingertips. Chest is pulling forward and away. Looking front. One long line from the back of your heel all the way through your spine. From there, step your left foot back in next to the right. Come halfway up. Rounding down. Bending both knees. Roll yourself up. Right away, open your arms up. Swan dive down with your hands coming through prayer. Hands next to feet, come halfway up. From there, step both your feet into plank pose, spreading your fingers out wide. Pressing strongly into your hands, broad between the shoulders. Now shift the weight forward and back a few times. From here, bring your knees down to the floor. Sink your pelvis back. Keep your toes tucked. Very active child's pose. Keeping your elbows lifted off the floor. From here, walk your hands in closer together. Drop your elbows down to the floor as far away as possible from your torso. Bending your elbows, bring your hands to prayer behind your neck. Deep breathing. Reminding yourself of the physical sensation of gratitude. Whether that works by reminding yourself of how your body felt, or reminding yourself of the image that you had in your head, or the thing or the person or the quality that you're grateful for. Whatever works for you, just remind yourself and see if you can imbue your whole practice with this image or with this sensation. From here, keep your forehead on the floor. See if you can bring your hands to reverse prayer. Your toes are still tucked. If your hands are in reverse prayer, lift your elbows up towards the ceiling. If it's too intense for you, you can grab your opposite elbows. From here, press down into your feet, around your spine, rolling to the top of your head. Pull your belly button in. A little bit of weight to the top of the head. And gently rolling back, releasing the hands. And walk yourself back into all fours, lifting your knees into plank. From here, shift your weight to the left hand, reach your right arm up, coming to the outside of the left foot, inside of the right foot, side plank. Your right hand lifting up. Gently reversing that, changing sides, shifting the weight to the right hand. The left arm comes forward and up. You're leaning on the outside of the right foot, inside of the left foot. Gently coming back to your plank. Now your choice, you can bring your knees down to the floor or keep your knees straight. Coming down to chaturanga, shift the weight forward into a little cobra pose. From here, lifting your feet off the floor. Lift your hands off the floor, reaching back with your hands. You can open your palms a little bit to the sides. Thumbs pointing up and lift your chin. One big in-breath to lift your spine up. Gently rolling down. Hands underneath shoulders. Push yourself back into plank. From there, into downward facing dog. 3 slow breaths here. Lift your right leg up parallel. Very simple. Nothing changes in the torso. It's just the right leg lifting up. Then point the foot. Pull the knee towards the chest. Step the foot between the hands. Bring your hands on top of your knee, but keep your left leg straight. Supported warrior one. Bring your hands to prayer, lifting your chest, maybe dropping your head back if it feels okay. Bring your head back up right now. Keep your hands in prayer. Open your lower body into warrior two, sinking your pelvis down. Right shin perpendicular to the floor, left knee straight. Outside of the left foot, pressing down. From here, open your left arm back. Keep the right arm, right fingertips on your sternum. Right elbow pointing forward. And from here, straightening the right knee, coming into reverse prayer. Keep your fingertips connected to your sternum. Your right elbow lifting up here. Gently coming back up. Slide your both hands behind your back, clasping your hands. Now reach forward with your sternum, bend your right knee, coming into humble warrior. Your right shoulder leaning on top of your right knee, sink your hips down lower. From here, see if you can straighten the right knee or work towards straightening it. If it doesn't straighten all the way, it's okay. Be gentle, be soft, be easy here. From there, lower your hands to your lower back, unclasp. Then walk your hands over to the left, turn the right foot in. Going to forward fold with your legs wide open. See if you can bring your top of your head to the floor. So you can either bring your elbows to the floor and place the top of your head between them, or you can grab your both ankles with your both hands, sliding your shoulders down the spine away from the ear, placing the top of your head on the floor. If it's very easy for you, walk your feet a little bit closer in. If it's very far away, you can open up your feet a little bit wider. From here, coming halfway up with your hands underneath your shoulders. Place your right hand directly underneath your chest, so shift it a bit more to the middle. Open your left arm up to the ceiling. Now slide your left arm underneath the right. Reach for the outside of your right ankle. Then walk your right hand into the left front corner diagonal. Walk it all the way forward. Press down into the right hand palm to open up the chest, looking up underneath your right armpit. Deep breathing. Gently untwist. Walk your hands back underneath your shoulders. And then walk your hands forward over to the right. Come back into your big lunge. Your choice, knees up or down. Coming down, chaturanga. Now you can either do a small cobra, or if you're ready, come all the way into up dog. Stay there a moment. Pointing the soft part of your elbows forward, sliding your shoulder blades down away from your ears. Open your throat and your chest. And from here, optional extra push up to come back into your downward dog. 3 deep breaths here. And bring your left leg up parallel. Very simple. Nothing changes except for the leg. The weight stays even between the two hands. Point the foot, bend the knee, bring it to your chest, roll forward. Step the foot between the hands. Bring your hands on top of your knee, come to supported warrior one. Deep breaths, shoulders sliding down. Bring your hands to prayer. Maybe lifting your chest, dropping your head back. Very small, simple. And from there, bring your head back to upright. Open your lower body into warrior two. Keep the prayer. Sink your pelvis down. And keep the left fingertips connected to your sternum. Right hand back, left elbow points forward. From here, straighten your left knee. Come into reverse warrior. Bring the right hand to the outside of your right leg. Point your left elbow up. Keep the fingertips connected to your sternum. From here, bring your torso back upright. Slide both your hands behind your back. Put the other thumb on top. Open your chest here. Bend the knee and bend forward into your humble warrior. Placing your left shoulder on top of your left knee. Dropping your head. And press down firmly into the outside of the right knee. Sink your hips down a little bit lower. And then maybe straightening the left leg very gently. Working towards straightening it. If it doesn't straighten all the way, it doesn't matter. And then gently sliding your hands back. Then walk your hands over to the right and turn your left foot in. Coming to a big wide stance, sticking your sit bones up and bringing the top of your head towards the floor. So you can either place your elbows towards the floor and your hands in between it, sticking your sit bones up, keeping your legs strong and straight. Or you can grab the outsides of your both ankles with your hands. And if your top of your head reaches the floor very easily, walk your feet slightly in to give yourself a bit of a challenge or somewhere to work towards. And if you're very, very far removed, you can open your feet a little bit. Straightening through the back, so sticking your sit bones up, lengthening your lower spine, sliding your shoulders up and away from your ears. From here, gently walk your hands a little bit forward underneath your shoulders and place your left hand, directly underneath your chest. Open your right arm up to the ceiling. Keep your hips even so you're only twisting the top of your back. Then slide the right arm down underneath the left. Reach for the outside of the left ankle. Then walk your left fingertips in towards the front right corner. Take your time here to keep walking that hand and press down into that left hand palm. Pulling on the right hand to twist your torso open. Look up underneath the left armpit. From here, gently release. Walk your hands back underneath your shoulders. Then walk them forward. Turn your left foot out. Come back into your lunge. Spreading your fingers, flattening out your hands. Step the left foot back into plank. From here, let's come into easy child's pose. You can open your knees a little bit wider than your hips. Sink your torso down between your legs. Bring your hands to either side, with the hand palms facing up. Deep belly breath. And from here, gently bring your hands underneath your shoulders, roll up your spine, place your knees back into the center, walk your hands forward, come back into your downward dog. Take a moment here to stick your sit bones up, sink your heels down, and then step your feet in just a little bit closer so your downward dog is slightly smaller than normal. Then lift your right hand up, really press down strongly into the left and shift the right hand to the outside of the left ankle. Twisting, very similar to what we just did with the legs wide. Gently changing, place your right hand back down, press down into that right hand to lift the left, cross it over, grabbing the outside of the right ankle, twisting your torso, looking up underneath the right armpit, and gently releasing. Lift your right leg up, open the hip. Now bend your knee and arch your back forward, come to the tippy toe of your left foot, and gently press back. Same thing on the other side, lifting your left leg up, opening the hip. Now arch your back, place the weight forward, come to the ball of your right foot. And gently pressing yourself back into your downward dog. And look forward, you can step or jump back, your choice. Coming halfway up, rounding down, bending your knees, rolling yourself all the way up, opening palms at the top. Breathing in, lift your arms up overhead. Breathing out, come through prayer while you swan dive forward. Coming halfway up, Spread your hands to step or jump back into the plank. Chaturanga down. Upward facing dog. Into downward facing dog. From here, right away, lift your right leg up. Same thing we just did. Come to the ball of your left foot, bending the right knee, arching your back. And from here, straight into dancer pose. Now bring your right hand to prayer, creating a connection between the fingertips and the sternum. Lift your right arm back overhead. Come back the same way you came in, into your downward dog splits. Bring your knee to your chest. Step into warrior one with the hands in prayer. Sink your hips down low. Now bring your arms overhead. Separate the hands. Bend back. From here, keep the back bend. Sink your left knee down. Then swim your arms backwards. Interlace your fingers. Bend back even more. Sink your hips. Pull your hands back away from you. Gently round back up. Keep your hands interlaced. Straightening through both knees. Pulling your hands overhead. See if you can press the right shoulder into the right knee to straighten that right leg. And bending the right knee. Place the left knee back down. Release the clasp of your hands. Now reach back with your left hand to the left heel. Once the hand reaches the heel, open up the shoulder, so bring the right shoulder backwards. Lift your right arm up. Lift it all the way up to the ceiling, then lift it overhead. Bending back. From there, bringing the right hand into prayer. Join it with the left. Press yourself forward. Straighten through the left knee, then twist yourself into warrior two. With the same arms as before, left arm long, right elbow forward. Connection with the fingertips and the sternum. Sink your hips down lower. From here, straighten the right knee. Reach the right elbow forward. Keep that connection between the sternum and fingertips. If you can place your elbow on top of your right leg. Variation of triangle here. Reaching up with the left hand. From there, windmilling both arms down. Come into a big lunge. Stepping the right leg back. And chaturanga down. Upward facing dog. Into downward facing dog. Right away, lifting the left leg up. Same as we did before, opening the hip, come to the ball of your right foot, bend the leg, arch the back like you want to touch your head with your foot. And from there, twisting into your wild thing. Want your arms overhead, bring it to prayer. Left fingertips touching sternum. From there, slide the arm back overhead. Come back into your down dog splits the same way you came in. From there, bending the knee, roll the weight forward, step into your warrior one. Hands come to prayer. Sink your hips down lower. Bring your hands up and separate them. Open your chest, bending back. From here, gently keep the back bend. Start bringing your right knee down to the floor. And flip your palms, dive your arms outward. Interlace your fingers with the other thumb on top. Pull your hands back and away from you. Deepen the back bend. From there, round yourself forward, straightening through both knees, connecting left shoulder with the left knee. Maybe straightening the knee all the way, dropping your head. From there, gently rebending the knee. Place your right knee down, unclasp the hands, then reach back with your right hand to the back of your right heel. As soon as you reach that, open your chest, bringing your left shoulder back. Then your left hand comes up. Breathing in, lift that left hand all the way to the ceiling, to then bring it overhead, bending back. From here, bring that left hand to prayer. Join it with the right. Round yourself up. Keep your hands in prayer. Straighten the right knee. Keep the prayer. Open your lower body into warrior two. So dropping the right heel down and opening the right arm back, left elbow forward, left fingertips in touch with your sternum, sinking your hips down a little bit lower. From here, straightening the left leg. Now reaching forward with the left elbow, placing that on top of your right thigh or just above the knee, reaching up with the right hand, keeping your fingertips touching your sternum. And from here, windmilling both hands down, stepping into the lunge. Step your foot back into plank. Chaturanga down. Upward facing dog. Let's come into another child's pose. This time taking your blocks, place your elbows on top of the blocks. You can use the height that works for you. Elbows on top of your blocks. Either going to simple child's pose with the elbows elevated, with your hands going to prayer behind your neck. Or if you'd like to increase the stretch on the shoulders, you can gently walk your knees more back until your knees are underneath your hips. Untucking the toes, letting your rib cage sink down. Relaxing your neck, sinking down the head. You can close your eyes here. What's the first thing that pops into your head that you're grateful for right now? right here on this mat, in this room, in this body. Even if it's just the fact that your hand palms are warm, or the fact that you have a room to practice in. Gently, gently moving out of this. Come back into your little ball, little squat. Dropping your head down, dropping your pelvis down. From here, let's come to side crow. Spreading your fingertips wide. Shift your knees over to the right side. Placing your outside of your left knee on your right elbow and the outside of your left hip on your left elbow. Leaning the weight forward, seeing if you can lift the feet. If this is difficult, you can place a block underneath your head. A very simple side crow, pulling your feet close into your pelvis and gently coming out. Changing sides, shifting your knees over to the left. Keep your hands down, fingertips spread. Your right knee on top of your left elbow and your right hip on top of your right elbow. Lean the weight forward and see if you can lift both your feet. Even if you just tap the floor a few times. And you can place a block underneath your head to help yourself lift your feet up. Balancing there for a moment. And gently coming back to the center. Trying out for crow in the middle. Few options. You can place a block in front of you on the lowest level so you have a place to rest your head. Option one is to place your knees on the outside of your elbows, bend your arms, keep your hands very spread, and place your head down onto the block if it helps you, or you can place it on the floor if that makes it easier for you. Or if you don't need to support your head, you can come straight to lifting your feet in a very low crow pose. Balancing there. If you want to try a little bit more advanced pose, lift your knees into your armpits. So you're going to come up a lot higher. From there, leaning the weight forward on your very spread out hands. If you slip, it can happen. It doesn't matter. Maybe take up one foot at a time. If you're not ready to take up both feet, just play with the sensation by taking up one foot and then the next. Maybe seeing if you can straighten through the arms. Then gently coming out, shake it out for a moment. Shift the weight side to side. Rolling on the outside of your right foot as you roll to the right, left foot as you roll to the left. From there, let's do one more round of side crow, then middle crow. And this time we can do a variation in side crow. If you're feeling stable there, we can split the legs. So coming to your little squat pose, spread out your hands wide. Shift your knees over to the right side. Bend your elbows down, positioning your outside of your left knee on top of your right elbow and the left hip on top of your left elbow. Shifting the weight forward, maybe lifting both feet or one foot at a time. From there, if you'd like, you can slip the right leg back and split your legs. Gently come back with control if you can. Shake out your hands for a moment of rest for your wrists, then shifting your knees over to the left side. Spreading your fingers out wide. Right knee on top of left elbow. Right hip on top of right elbow, shifting the weight forward. Maybe lifting your feet. And if you're comfortable there, you can stretch your right leg forward, left leg back, splitting your legs. Gently coming back out of this. Take a moment to shift the weight side to side. Let's stretch the wrists out for a moment. So bring your backs of your hands to the floor. With your hand palms facing up, fingers pointing towards you. Leaning the weight back to stretch the fronts of the wrists. And then flip the palms. Still fingers pointing towards you, palms down this time. The more you lean back, the bigger stretch you get for your inner wrists. Now you can try out one more time your center crow. I'll be right back. And if it's enough, go into child's pose. Sorry about that. If you've been trying your crow all this time, come into child's pose. Me, I'm going to do one more time. The front crow. From there, easy child's pose. And today, let's come into a headstand. So we'll build it up from very simple to more advanced. We can start with a tripod headstand. Let me see what's the easiest way to show this. Coming back into your straddle pose. So with your legs out wide, exactly like what we did earlier. Placing the top of your head onto the floor. And start with this. Holding on either to your ankles or placing your elbows on the floor. Just take a moment here and start to shift the weight a little bit forward into the top of your head. So you can get used to that get used to the sensation of having some weight in the top of your head. From there, bring your hand palms to the floor with your elbows facing a little bit up. Now the simplest way to start to get into this is by finding a way to place your knees on top of your elbows. It's a very simple way to start to take your feet off the floor, leaning your knees on your elbows. So you've got a 90-degree angle from your wrists to your elbows. And here you have a lot of control actually. If you need to come out for a moment to rest, do that. Take the weight out of your head for a moment. I'm saying this is the easiest way because this is for me the easiest way to start getting into a headstand. If for you it's easier to have your elbows on the floor straight away, that's also fine. Go for that. Now we'll slowly continue. So what you can do here, if you like, is to place your mat close to a wall so that if you fall, if you flip over, you don't fall over. Just to have a little bit of extra security. So if this tripod headstand is working for you, let's go to the next level of that and start to lift the knees away from the elbows. If not, you can come to a different setup, which is with the elbows on the floor and the fingers clasped behind the head. That's your other option. So for me, I'm going to come back into my tripod headstand, placing the top of my head down, bringing my knees on top of my elbows, bringing my heels towards my groin, and from there, starting to arch my back a little bit, lifting my pelvis more up, knees coming off. From there, I can start to lift my legs up. Spreading the weight evenly in the whole hand. And there was there behind me in case I need it. Whenever I need to come out and very slowly take your head off the floor and take a moment to release the neck. Now I'm going to go this time for the next variation with my elbows on the floor. Headstand is not a pose that comes so naturally to me, so it always takes me a bit of time to figure it out. So I'm clasping my fingers, placing my hands behind my head and sticking my pelvis up to the floor, coming up to my tippy toes, walking my feet closer in. Then one foot comes up. The next. Pressing down into the elbows. To take a little bit of weight out of the neck. And then it's enough for me. Gently come out of it when you're ready. And take a child's pose. And then let's come into a camel pose. The ultimate gratitude pose. Big chest opener. Big back bend. Roll your spine up. Come to standing on your knees. I will build it up gently, slowly. So let's start by tucking the toes under so the heels are a bit higher up and it's easier to reach. Make sure your toes are all pointing forward. So you're standing straight on top of your knees, your hips are above your knees. Place your hands on your lower back. Already here, start to pull your shoulders together and down. As you breathe in, lift your chest up, drop your head. This is the beginning of the pose. And if this is enough, you can just stay here. Opening your chest, not hanging in your lower back, lifting out of your lower back. And if you want to go deeper, try and see if you can keep your pelvis in the same position, so don't sink it down. And reach back one by one with your hands to reach your heels. Keep pressing your pelvis forward and up. Softening your chest, dropping your head down. Breathing here, surrendering. And then very gently, bring your hands back to your lower back. Round yourself back up. Untuck your toes. Sit down on top of your heels. Round your spine forward for a moment. It's very normal here to feel a little bit overwhelmed, a little bit nauseous. It's a big emotional opening pose. So we'll do 2 more times. If this was already very intense, you can do exactly the same. So coming up to your knees, tucking your toes. And if you want to go a little bit deeper, you can keep your feet flat. And start like this with your hands on your lower back, lifting your whole rib cage up and away from your lower back. Really use your hands to press your pelvis forward and keep your lower back long. Dropping your head back. Keep your pelvis as much as possible forward over your knees, then reach your hands back. Grabbing both heels. Maybe you have to sink your hips a little bit, but as soon as you reach your heels, press your hips back forward. And from here, breathe and stay if it's enough, or release your heels, bring your hands to prayer. Sink your back down lower. And if you want to go even deeper, interlace your fingers. Keep your index fingers pointing up. Point your hands to the ceiling. Breathe in, pull your arms further up and draw a line across the ceiling. Bring your hands overhead behind you. Open your chest. And gently, gently coming back out of this. Sit your hips down onto your heels. Round your spine gently forward. A little counter stretch. And then roll your spine back to neutral, and we'll do 1 more time. So make sure you go through each of the stages of this pose. And whenever you feel that it's enough for you, just stay there. If it becomes too much, go 1 step back. So the most simple version is with your toes tucked under, with your hands resting on your lower back, and simply opening your chest and dropping your head. If you want to go deeper, release the toes down. Press your pelvis forward. If you want to go deeper, 1 by 1, grab your heels with your both hands. With your thumbs on the outside, fingers on the inside. Pressing your pelvis forward. Opening your chest more and more and more. If you want to go deeper, bring your hands into prayer. If you want to go deeper, interlace the fingers. Other thumb on top this time. Index fingers release. Bring your arms up to the ceiling. Breathe in. Pull your fingers up, up, up. Draw a line across the ceiling. Sink your back. Down and back. Open your chest. Breathe and surrender. Gently, gently bring yourself back out. Sit yourself down. Open your knees and feet a little bit so you can sit your hips between your heels. If you can, keep your knees together. Your heels are only separated as much as you need to sit your hips between, soles of your feet pointing up. Grabbing the soles of your feet with your hands. Gently start to lean yourself back. Start by leaning on your elbows. If it's too intense for your knees, you can open your knees a little bit. From here, if you want to go deeper, start to slide yourself more down. Leaning on your shoulders. Walk your shoulder blades closer together so you're forming a little bridge with your upper back, opening your chest. From here you can grab opposite elbow and lift your hands overhead. And breathe here. From there, changing elbows, changing sides. Clasp your other elbow on top. Releasing your hips down into the floor. And from here, gently bringing your hands back down. Press down into your elbows. Press yourself back up very slowly, gently. Let's come back into our little squat, little round shape. Creating space in between all those vertebrae of the lower back that have just been compressed. Drop your head down. Breathing deeply into the lower belly. And from here, let's come into a nice pigeon, easy pigeon. So placing yourself in all fours. Bring your right knee to the outside of your right wrist. Slide your left leg back. Your left leg stays parallel, so the knee is pointing down. Come onto your fingertips. You can untuck the left toes. Pressing down into your fingertips to press your chest up and out, away from the hips. Maybe lifting your chin, gently arching your back before walking your hands forward, coming all the way down. If this is very intense, you can place a block underneath your left rib cage, left side of the chest, or underneath your right buttock for some support. Make sure your hips stay parallel, so both your hips are pointing forward. Your left knee is pointing down. And just breathe here and relax. If your nose is getting very squashed, you can turn your head to one side. slightly, but make sure that your hips stay even. Softening deeply into your right hip. Releasing the tops of your shoulders. Softening your jaw. And then you can walk with both hands over to the left side. You can place your left elbow onto the floor. Get your left arm quite relaxed and then walk the right fingertips forward into the front left diagonal. Really walk your fingertips out. Then press your hand palm down. Release your forehead down. And you can even press a little bit into the left fingertips so you increase the stretch underneath your right armpit. Gently releasing that. And walk yourself back up. Place the right hand on the inside of the right knee. Bend your left knee. Grab the inside of the left ankle with the left hand. Softening your pelvis down. Pull your left foot closer. Maybe flipping your left elbow up. Pressing down into the top of the left big toe. Keep softening both your hips. Lengthening the front of your left thigh. See if you can twist your shoulders forward so your left shoulder comes front, your right shoulder comes back, evening out your both shoulders. Keep breathing. And gently releasing that leg. Crawl your left foot a little bit forward. And slide your right knee back into your all fours. Do one round of cat-cow to even out your spine. Rounding as you breathe out. Arching as you breathe in. And then we'll change sides. Sliding the left knee to the outside of the left wrist. Sliding your right foot back. Take your time here. Untucking the right toes, coming onto the fingertips of both your hands to lift your chest up. And you can arch your back, lift your chin up if you like. Drop your head, creating a lot of space between the hips and the ribs. And from there, gently walking your hands all the way forward. Either coming to your elbows or placing your forehead on the floor. And if you need a bit of extra support here, you can place a block underneath your right rib cage or the right side of your chest, or underneath your left buttock. And just breathe into that left hip. Releasing everything down into the floor. From here, walking your both hands over to the right side. And you can bend your right elbow a little bit and release the right hand, the right arm. And crawl your left fingertips really far into the right diagonal corner. Then place your whole hand palm down. And you can create a little bit of opposition by pressing diagonally forward with your right fingertips, creating a big stretch underneath the left armpit here. And from there, gently release that. Walk yourself back up. Place the left wrist on the inside of the left knee. Bend the right knee. Start by grabbing the inside of the right ankle with the right hand. Take your time here. Maybe this side is very different from the first side. It's normal, it's okay. See if you can soften your hips more down to the floor. And gently starting to pull your foot closer and closer in. Maybe flipping your right elbow up to the ceiling so you can press down into the top of your right toe. Twisting your shoulders forward. The right shoulder comes front, left shoulder comes to the back. Sinking your hips down lower. Releasing. Gently let go of that. Slide your right foot a bit forward. Then slide your left knee back on your next out breath around your whole spine. Breathing in, arching. And then we'll finish the class seated. So your choice, you can sit on a block or on the floor with your knees, with your feet crossed or in lotus or sitting on your knees, whatever feels right for you right now. Maybe it takes a moment to figure it out. It's also okay. Once you find a comfortable seat, close your eyes, bring your hands to the tops of your knees, then flip your palms up and soften your fingertips. So your palms are facing up, but your hands are soft and released. Lengthen the back of your neck. Let your belly hang out. Rooting your pelvis down into the floor as your back of your skull floats up. Notice if your body feels any different from the beginning of the class. And bring your left hand on top of your chest, on top of your heart. Right hand to your lower belly. Soft touch, see if you can release the elbows down. Soften your jaw. And breathing into your lower belly, breathing into your chest. Finding a sense of gratitude for your body, for your practice. for your breath, for this space. For your heart that's steadily beating, pumping the blood through your veins, supplying your cells with oxygen. And then envision the center of the earth. Imagine what it would look like there. Connect yourself to the core of the earth. Bring your both hands to prayer. Bow your head down by your thumbs between your eyebrows. Fingertips are near your hairline. And breathing out, round yourself forward gently, gently. Slowly round yourself back up. Open your hands. Cover your eyes loosely. A bit of space between the hand palms and the eyes. Relaxing your eyelids, softening your cheeks and your eyebrows. And then slide your hands down your face. Back into prayer in front of the chest. Thank yourself for coming to the mat today, for practicing. For being here. Thank you so much for watching, for practicing with me. I am back next week on Monday and Wednesday. I will post the classes later on today and on my page, in my group, on Facebook. Yeah, I wish you a beautiful day. I hope to see you next week. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Ciao. Bye.